morning, Islanders. Welcome back to Ask an Islander. I'm Ariana, one of your What's Up ladies, and today we are sitting down with the Associate Dean of Students, Angela Walker.
Hello.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. So before we started filming, I was like, I know who you are. I know your office does like all the things. What is your office called? What do y'all do? Like eye care, bunch of different events. But I'm like, who are you? Like,
Okay.
tell us all the things.
So first, let me just tell you, as the Associate Dean of Students, I serve as an advocate for students. And what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, that means is that when students maybe run into some challenges and they're just not quite sure who to go to for help, they're wandering around campus, we want them to at least come to my office so that I can point them to other offices.
A huge part of your office is eye care.
Yes.
And there's like a negative stigma, I think, around eye care. Like people are like, oh, I don't want to be called. Like, I don't want that. But what is eye care? Like, it's so beneficial, actually.
Yes, it's basically outreach, support, and early intervention. Those are our three models. And the thing is that when we get an eye care referral, it's not about the student getting in trouble. It's about the student is showing some form of distress. And basically, we have an eye care case manager. Her name is Miss Molly Becker. And she's going to outreach to that student and say, hey, here's our services, and I'd like to meet with you to see how we can help you with what you're going through. And the whole point is to alleviate the distress.
So I know we are talking about one of those ways you're doing that is we have an event called COPE coming up.
Yes.
So what is COPE about?
So COPE stands for Cost of Poverty Experience, and it's a simulation. It's about a 2.5-hour simulation where we bring in a facilitator from Think Tank Incorporated. The simulation starts at 10 o'clock. We have limited space, so we ask for a large simulation, which is up to 150. The event is free, open to the entire campus
Do you
community.
need to RSVP on iEngage?
Yes, please RSVP on iEngage. The event is also open to the community. Families are welcome. We ask that if you bring children, they have to be at least the age of 14 years old or older.
So building off of COPE, looking at poverty, how is our Adulting 101 helping students save some money?
So we have extreme couponing coming up on October the 17th from 12 to 1. And yes, we need for you to RSVP on iEngage, but we have someone from the community coming in. She's actually an alum
Yay.
from the university who saves so much money by couponing. And she's gonna show us tips on how we can save, how we can use coupons, apps that can help us save money. And
Yeah, both of our departments are really good about, we want to have these like the conversations on campus that students can leave the room and leave with something.
Right.
So I know next week we also have campus conversations, minorities and mental health. So we have so many professors and we also have a lot going on, like 4 events next week. It's fine, everything's fine. But we have so many professors and community members coming to minorities and mental health. Can you tell me about like what that is and like why is it so important for you and Deshawn to bring that to life?
You know, as a person of color, one of the things in our culture is that you don't tell other people what's going on in the home. And so we tend to hold those things in, and we don't have a positive outlet to kind of discuss what's going on inside. And that can lead to depression, suicide attempts, even suicide. And so we want to give the campus community an opportunity to discuss how we can combat that.
So I know October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I know you were doing something, well, you're doing all the things, but what are you doing specifically for either Islander survivors or if they have family members impacted by breast cancer?
We can provide somewhat of a support system, especially if they're in distress about what's going on with them, or hey, they have a family member.
I can't imagine like being a student. Like that's what when you're here, you're supposed to be focused on being a student, living the best years of your life.
Exactly.
And then when cancer strikes you or a family member, like what do you do? There's not like a book on like how do you handle that.
Right.
So I know like this did like honor and celebrate and just acknowledge that we know you're going through this and like you have a support system on campus.
And I also want to preface by saying that it's not just for women. We know that men are also dealing with breast cancer.
I think like once again, I think all of our events go back to like destigmatizing and normalizing stuff. So I think people our age don't think we're gonna get cancer. Like that's not even a thought in their head. but you need to be going to those doctor's appointments. So just like all of our other events, please RSVP for that one, especially the breast cancer one, so we can know how much food to get. So you have to RSVP by the end of today to make sure we have enough food for everybody, enough goodies for everybody. But it's really going to be a beautiful event. So Angela just told us about all the different amazing things your office does. So now I'm sitting down with Jasmine Harris, who is the Student Conduct Officer, who's going to tell us a little bit about what that means and what do you do.
Yeah, so I actually work alongside Angela in the Office of Student Conduct and Advocacy, but specifically for me as a Student Conduct Officer, I help students define what it means to be a responsible Islander. And so I know sometimes it's scary, right? You don't want to come in our office to, get in trouble or get sanctioned, but for us it's really about education. It's an educational process to teach students about our student code of conduct, and again, what it means to not only be a responsible Islander, but to try to help mold you into a responsible citizen or like a global citizen.
So not only do you teach conduct, but you also have opportunities for students to get very involved in your office. So what do those look like?
Yes, so our Student Conduct Board, as well as our Student Organization Conduct Board, actually help us adjudicate cases. So it's a really great experience. We train students in how to actually help us resolve issues as it relates to student conduct, and it's a great opportunity for students to build their leadership skills. It's a great way to show that you have some ethical responsibility, and that's going to be very important if you're going to be serving on boards or committees in your work roles.
Bigger picture is that you have a bunch of events coming up because October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So why is it important that we do that on a college campus? I mean, that doesn't happen here, right? Or we would assume that doesn't happen here. So why do you think it's important?
It actually happens more than you may actually think. One thing that we want to just spread the news on is just awareness and prevention for domestic violence, because actually 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will actually experience some form of domestic violence in their lifetime. So it's really important that we help students be able to not only acknowledge when this is happening, but also kind of look for those red flags in a relationship. And so what we're trying to do is put some information out on the table, provide some resources along the way, but to get them familiarized with, again, what those red flags are and why it's important to be aware of domestic violence.
Because I think the stereotype is with domestic violence is it's like a woman who has bruises or scarring, and it's not just that. You have emotional and mental abuse that also goes into it.
Yeah, and so we actually have a whole calendar of events that are happening. I know students are probably going in their phone trying to find dates, all these RSVPs, but just go to our website if you're interested in domestic violence and awareness month. It's actually DVPAM, so that's dvpam.tamu-cc.edu, and you'll find our complete calendar of events. So on Monday, October the 14th, we're doing something new. We're going to have a program called Blurred Lines. So you know the song by Robin Thicke, right? So we're vibing and just enjoying our music, but I think one thing is that we never really listen fully to the lyrics. And so what we're trying to do is just have an open conversation with students about the music that we're listening to. We're going to do something very different than what we usually do. We're going to have our Step Up Bystander Intervention program and training on Tuesday, October the 22nd. And so we've never done this before, just open to the campus. And there's also going to be some great opportunities for giveaways as well. I know y'all like free stuff, so we got more of that for you. I know we talked a lot about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and kind of pulling that pink out of your closet. So I hope y'all have some purple too, because Purple Thursday is going to be Thursday, October the 24th. And so I'm hoping to see all the Islanders rocking your purple.
And then the next event.
Yes, this is one that I'm really secretly most excited about. It happened last year, so it is a signature event that we hold. It's called Painting for Awareness with Sophia. And so Sophia is an Islander here on campus, a student leader. Just the final thing that I want to talk about, check out our display on the second floor of Bell Library. This is going to be just a very quick, self-paced, interactive display about Domestic Violence and Awareness Month. And I don't want to give too much of it away. I want people to actually go and see it. But again, it's going to kind of bring back some nostalgia. Just make sure you go and check that out. We're tying, again, those educational pieces in a very unique way.
When does it go up? When is it up?
Yeah, so next week, middle of next week, go ahead and stop by the library, and it'll be up all month, all October.
So you have a whole month
Yes.
to look at it.
Second floor of Bell Library, starting the middle of next week, all throughout the month. Go and check it out.
So much art, so much giveaways. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.